Good morning, everybody. Happy new week. I'm super excited to be with you this morning here with Kav, one of my authors who actually was so disciplined that she actually completed the whole course doing my online portal. How rare is that? I love that, Kav. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Pleasure to be here. Great
Yeah.
to see you, Nat.
And the best thing about today, not only are we having a chat about, the wisdom you're going to share with us this morning, but also your book is launching internationally on Amazon today. Let me guys show you what the book looks like so you get an idea. So here we go. This is Kav's book, Unleash Your Inner Phoenix. I love the cover and the photos of you, especially that dress in the back of your cover. But this book is currently launching on Amazon this morning, and it is just at 99 cents. So once you hear what Kav's got to say, you might want to get your hands on it because she's got so much wisdom that she shares throughout. But today, the topic for discussion is the 7 steps to having your wildest dreams come true. And we're going to figure out, I want to know what the 7 steps are, but I'm going to give you the official introduction. So Kaveri is a certified WILDFIT coach who has been leading groups of people through the WILDFIT challenge. She has successfully helped different clients achieve their transformational dreams. And this followed her own transformation with WILDFIT in 2019. So when she discovered WildFit, it changed her life, and she decided to become a certified coach to help other people achieve those same results. And her coaching business is now her passion. That's why she's written a book, and she's got her own framework behind it. So Kaveri is also an organizational change consultant and business strategist with more than 15 years of experience in large organizations, including our top 4 banks, financial institutions here in Australia. And she's been influencing operational efficiency, customer solutions, and organizational growth. In her own personal transformation journey, Kaveri applies her knowledge for business transformation, as well as what she now knows about health and nutrition. She has studied food as medicine at Monash University, focusing on nutritional science, and is a certified meditation and mindfulness coach with a focus on yoga. Wow, that's a lot of things there, Kav. So can I ask you, for you to embark on your transformational journey, was there a catalyst for you to do that for yourself? Can you maybe give me a bit of the backstory?
Absolutely. And my book kind of starts with my origin story and my backstory. So I've moved here over 20 years ago from India. We moved to Melbourne. So I moved at the time with my husband, who's now my ex. And we came here with $2,000 and just a lot of hopes and dreams. And we decided that we were going to make it in Australia. It was very interesting because when we got here first, it was Melbourne winter and I was not prepared for it. Our first meal was like bread and French onion dip, and that was dinner. And we couldn't figure out how to make the heater work, right? And it was so cold. I had this like one warm blanket that my mom's friend gave me, and I looked up and there were glow in the dark stars on the ceiling, and I decided, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to make it in Australia. I guess my journey kind of started from there, but like a lot of challenges along the way, and I talk a lot about that in the book, including health challenges, loss of a loved one, just difficulty falling pregnant, being told I was infertile, and just working through stuff like that. I guess the biggest trigger was in 2018 when my 18-year relationship kind of broke down. And I was kind of sitting in my room. Again, it was winter. I don't know why all these things come up in winter for me, but I was like, wow, my life is a mess. Like, what have I done? My relationship is over. I had like heartbreak. And I said, the main thing is I'm not happy with a few things in my life, and what will I focus on? I had this inner knowing, I did a bit of an audit. I had this powerful awakening, and I did a bit of an audit, went indoors, and I said, yeah, I think if I want to focus on my health. I made a decision to focus on my health, and finances and social capital was also another area because I was lacking community. I was feeling very lonely and things. So all that happened for me to trigger this health transformation. And when I reflected back, there were 7 steps that I did to get through any kind of challenge that I went through, and those are the 7 steps that I've written about in the book.
And so how long had you been wanting to write a book, or was this from the time you started your transformation and then it was like, I need to put this down?
Look, I've been trying to write a book for like over 5 years. I've even in fact put a structure together, but it didn't go anywhere. I think when I heard you at your workshop say it takes longer not to do something, I was
Yeah.
like, I have to make a decision, and then I just followed your process, and I just made it happen, because the purpose of me writing this book is I wanted to reach and help a lot of people know that you don't have to be stuck, and there you can have everything that you want, the health that you want, the career that you want, despite your circumstances. And
Yeah.
I'm a living example of that.
I love that. And hello to everybody who's watching. I can see some of the comments. Janine, Tony, Vicky. Good morning, guys. Hope you're having a nice start to the week. So, all right. So let's dig into, you say how to change your trajectory in life despite how stuck you feel. What are some of the 7 steps? I mean, will you give us all 7, or will you?
I will tell you all the steps, yeah, but I just wanted to show you my
I
t-shirt.
know, I love your top.
It's a phoenix, and the reason I chose the phoenix, the book's called Unleash Your Inner Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
And to me, I always admired the phoenix. I know it's a mythical bird, but for me, a phoenix is a bird that kind of dies every few years, and then from its ashes gets reborn and kind of rises. For me, personal transformation is very much like that, because in order to grow and evolve, and you have to let go of parts of you that don't no longer serve you. And in my day job as an organizational change manager and business transformation, I see this all the time. But it's really essentially a people change, because I work with a lot of people to see what brings them on the journey. So this is my personal transformation journey, and the phoenix just felt like an amazing symbolism for me, and that's why I chose the phoenix as my bird. And the steps is called the Phoenix framework. So it's the Phoenix is an abbreviation. So so P stands for powerful awakening, which is, as I mentioned, when in the universe sends you like all these messages, and things are not going your way, you always look at the mess and you're like, why am I in this mess? But I believe that the message is in the mess. So if you look at what's happening, and you really look at what is a hidden message there, what is the truth in there, then you can actually find deeper answers and get like really clear on what you want. So that is actually the first step of the framework.
Powerful awakening.
Powerful awakening.
What is it? Mess in the message, or the message is in the
The
mess?
the mess is the message, and the message is also in the mess. It works either way. But the point is, you got to pay attention. When the universe is sending you all those signals, you got to pay attention to like that. Don't look away from the pain. My invitation to people is to look towards the pain, because when I look towards the pain, that's when I realize what is actually bothering me. And the book has got a whole lot of reflective questions and activities within the book. So I didn't want it to just be like steps, but I wanted to be like a living journal that people can reflect on and work through questions as well. Because these are the exact same questions I asked myself when I was sitting in that room alone after an 18-year-old marriage collapsed, and I had another heartbreak after that. So I needed to get answers. And I knew the answers were not out there, it was within. So I paid attention and I went there. The second step from there is H for hyper inner vibe audit. So it's about doing a full audit of what is going on inside, like what is bothering you, what is the gift in this, what is the truth in this. So I've got a lot of questions that I asked myself. First of all, I got myself into a state where I could find those answers. I self-soothed when I was upset, and when emotions come up, it's hard to like do this exercise. So I kind of talk about some of the steps that I did to get into a frame of mind where I'm open for those answers come to me from the universal intelligence that I actually believe exists. So and then I got really clear, and I focused on 3 areas. I realized that I've always had yo-yo diets. I've always had like health issues, and I wasn't happy with my health. I went up and down, and I said, and I also wanted energy and flexibility to do all the things that I wanted to do, because I knew I had goals. I knew I wanted to have a business. I knew I wanted to help people. I knew I wanted to be in a better frame of mind where I can actually meet someone new. But all that wasn't going to happen like day one. I had to do the work. So So yes, that's where I spend a lot of time. And when I got clear on that, I focused on my health. I focused on finances because after the marriage,
Yeah.
I learned so many things about finances because I was on my own. I had to take responsibility basically. And the third aspect was, when you're married, you have a lot of couple friends. And then I realized that I was really lonely when I came out of it because I didn't have the same friend. They had their own lives. They were lovely, so I actually had to build a community around me to support me in the life that I wanted to
Yeah.
grow into.
So you chose 3 areas
The
to
areas to focus on.
work on, and that would that be the recommendation for someone, or?
I would say health is the first,
Yes.
because health is wealth. You can have a million dreams, but if you don't have your health, you got nothing. Is
Yeah.
where my premise is, and um, but yeah, whatever is important to you. That's why I give, like, the answer is yours. It's your answer. What do you want to focus on? But if health is if your health is going great, then that's great.
Yeah.
But generally, I find when emotions take over, people kind of drop the ball on the health because, yeah,
I think the way we feel reflects in all of our areas, So if we're
absolutely.
not happy in our relationship, our business may not be succeeding, or it might be like, yeah, I think it filters through.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
And it's your inner game, right? It's your inner game that needs to be healed first. So,
Yeah.
so yeah. So when I did that exercise, I got really clear, and I basically I decided that I'm going to do WildFit, which I stumbled upon,
Hmm.
and I just said what this guy is saying is making sense. His name is Eric Meets. He's the founder of WildFit, and I did a 90-day challenge with WildFit, and as a result, I lost like 15 kilos overall, but also got amazing like energy and strength. And I think it's what we call the human diet. So it's what our ancestors were evolved, or our ancestors ate, what Homo sapiens are evolved to eat, we believe. So it's pretty much meat, vegetables, and fruit. Like
Yeah.
any processed stuff, was not part of our diet 250 years ago. So,
Yeah.
when I kind of the next step is called O for open new pathways. So what I'm saying here is, when you decide what you want and you're clear on what you want, then you need to find a correct role model who you align with, and you want to work with, to help you on that journey. Because again, that supportive community, they've got the peer support, you've got the accountability, and they've done it before, so they actually know how it works. So, and when you start doing that, then it opens new pathways for more
Yeah.
for you, right? And
Can be opportunities as well, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's the third step. I think I'm kind of counting right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Thoe.
yeah, yeah. Correct my spelling if I missed anything. And then E for energy rising. So I believe that once you start taking the single step and you keep going on the journey, you basically get your energy from that. You need to celebrate every milestone, and every win, because
Yes.
we something like health. People don't even start because they're scared of failure, and that's why it's so important to have those initial wins that you celebrate and you look at, and those milestones that you look at. So yeah, and that's where you get your energy and draw your momentum from. So I talk about a lot about some activities you can do there and how you can stay on track,
Nice.
pretty much. Um,
And
oh yeah, thank you.
I'm keeping track of you. I'm keeping track.
Thank you. I think I can feel the adrenaline. So, and for not giving up, I think that step is pretty clear. It's basically just don't give up. You're on the momentum. There are going to be obstacles. Of course, there's going to be setbacks. I mean, when you're close to the summit, there is going to be times you're going to just completely freak out. And most people give up like really close to the summit. You've
Yeah.
done all the work, right? Like, why would you want to give up? So it book talks about how you can stay on track, some exercises you can do, and just get back on track. Like, don't give up. How you deal with the fear, how you deal with if you fail, there's nothing final about failure. You just basically get back on
Yeah.
and go for it.
Yeah.
And it talks a lot about my story of
Yeah.
what experiences I went through. So it is my personal story of my health transformation, but I talk about it in the step forms. And then the Phoenix is the next step is I at next level. So I am. So it's a capital I. So I have now done the work. I've reached I've reached my next level of growth and evolution, because I feel like if you're not growing, you're dying. So right now you've done the work, you've reached your next level. It's about, celebrating
Yeah.
where you are, and just, giving yourself the credit, and continuing to press the acceleration and go for it. Don't slow down at this point. And this is when people will start noticing all the work that you're doing, because sometimes it's quite a lonely journey, because when you're doing all this work, people don't see the immediate results. You're on the journey and you're doing it. That's why your community is so important. And you know this because you've built an amazing community yourself. But this is where people miss out. When you're trying to do it on your own, you feel like you don't have that support. And but yeah, so that community is really important, and you have to celebrate with your community and your
How
peers.
did you find community? Was it through the WildFit, I guess,
Yeah,
challenge where you tapped into a different community?
absolutely, absolutely. So WildFit is done in a group. So we had, like, private Facebook groups where we could, like, talk and get support from coaches and things.
Yeah,
And that's how I did my challenge. And now when I run challenges, because I've become a certified WildFit
yeah,
coach, I set up like
the
groups of
community.
people, and people love it because they feel like safe. It's a safe environment.
Yeah,
Psychological safety is more important than engagement. So people feel really safe within these groups to talk about it, because health can be quite a personal thing, and
yeah,
us is sensitive
totally.
to it.
I
Yeah,
was a weight loss coach, and I know
I
exactly.
know. I've read your book.
Yeah. I love it. And what's the X?
Okay, so X is extra acceleration. This is about, like, celebration. I'm a big, big, big believer in celebration. Like, when I finished the WildFit challenge, and I was really happy with the amount of, I was jumping off the ceiling. I had so much of energy, and I decided, like, what am I going to focus my energy on? I did a couple of things. I went and booked myself into a massive spa treatment, because I was like, I'm going to have a really healthy meal, and then I'm going to get a spa treatment. I think I deserve it. Like, I've worked really hard. But then I also did, like, cool things like I would have never done before. Like, I decided I'm going to climb the harbor bridge,
Yeah,
and it's like you feel like motivated to do that, and you feel like, because I felt like I changed from within, and I don't feel like I'm the same person that I was before that journey. And that's what personal transformation is. There's certain things that I said I did on the WildFit journey that I was like, I cannot believe I just did that. And if I can do this, what else can I do? And then, and yeah, that was really inspiring for me.
mm,
Yeah, and it's been like, and then I decided the message was so important that I'm going to become a WildFit coach.
yeah,
There's a lot of stories around that as well in the book, about my journey to become a coach, because it was quite an expensive program, and how I had to work my way through it as a single mom. And yeah, but I was determined to get it done, and now I'm very, very pleased, because I feel like I'm on purpose for the first, like, for the second time. Probably my first purpose was my son, but for the second time in my life, because I'm actually changing people's lives. Like,
I
people
love
are
that.
getting results. Like, one of my recent clients said she feels like she's in her 30s and 40s, and she's feeling so energetic like never before. People have had arthritis symptoms go away, menopausal results change. All this is because I decided I want to do this. And this book is about helping people who are stuck, like, prior to the decision that they
Yeah.
make to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So you now, obviously, you've gone through it yourself, and you're living and breathing the results that others want to have, and therefore they connect with you, and you work with people one to one or in
It's
groups.
it's a group. Whilst we'd be doing group, but I also have one-on-one services. But
Yeah,
I love the groups, because that's when I can see, like, the light bells going off, because people learn from each other. Human,
yeah. I
yeah, we're
think
social,
I
and
think group mentoring and coaching is more powerful than one-on-one.
absolutely.
I used to think it was one-on-one, it's customized, it's very intimate and all that kind of stuff. But actually, when you're in a group, so many questions get asked that other people don't think about asking, and they go, "Oh, yeah, I do need to know that." Or, someone raises a problem or a challenge, and the others go, "Oh, there's others like me that are feeling the same way." So it confirms, and as you say, that social connection, and community is
Absolutely.
just another level of value. So I
Absolutely.
love that. Oh, that's amazing, and congratulations. I mean, let's talk a little bit about how you tackled the process of writing this book,
Okay.
because you were a little bit more lonely on the sidelines, watching probably all the retreat authors go to retreat, do smash it out, come back. And you were following my online portal, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's like a 12 module online course. Modules about 30 minutes long, and there's your accompanying templates and checklists. And so long as someone watches the videos, does the work, and continues on like Kav did,
Yes.
they'll finish. But the reality is also, how do you stay self-motivated? Because a lot of people can put the online portal on the virtual shelf and not do much because there's no one pushing them, no one giving them deadlines and all that. So tell me a little bit about how you tackled it.
Sure. So as I don't know if I mentioned it, but I jumped on your workshop, I think in April
Yeah,
2020. It
yeah.
was like right in the middle of first
The
COVID
first,
lockdown, right? And I'm like, and then I heard you speak and you said something very important. You said, it takes longer not to do something. So I said, absolutely, I'm going to do this. And then I signed up for the portal.
yeah,
And you also said it's very hard for you to follow through on the portal because you're a bit more lonely.
yeah,
But by that point, I decided that I was absolutely gonna, because my purpose was a lot bigger than just getting the book out there. My purpose was
yeah.
I wanted to share this message with as many people as I
And
want.
that's why today, you're offering your book at the special 99 cents globally on Amazon. I think Lindy's already posted the link. So guys, go and get a
Thank
copy
you.
of it, because it'll be cool to read everything in more detail from what we're
And
hearing today. Yeah, yeah,
absolutely, and I would love that. Thank you. And it's got activities in it as well. So
yeah.
people, if you're really in a stuck place, this is a perfect opportunity to reflect
Mm,
using those books, I believe. Anyway, so coming back to the process, yes. So your process was very clear. You had really great templates that I used. It was about putting time away. Now I'm a believer that if I invested in something that I want to get the value from
value.
it. So absolutely, and I know coming being a single mother, I have to use those resources that I have to the full extent. So that's where my drive comes from.
I'm
And
the same. Whenever I invest, it's like, if I've invested, it's almost like I've promised that I'm going to do the work rather than I put
yeah,
the money there. Yeah.
have to show up, and the universe knows when you're serious, and
Yep.
then you get the result. So yes, absolutely, there was a lot of points where I was like, oh my god, this is so hard. But
Yeah.
of course, I had you guys in the background. I did have a community. I know I didn't interact much, but I knew I could ask you questions if I did
Yeah.
get stuck, and we did speak a few times. But overall, there were a lot of edits and things like that, and I went with it. There's a lot of learnings as well, but that's for the next book,
Yeah. I love
hopefully.
it.
But yeah, it was a great, very effective system, Nat. Like
Yeah.
to get you, yeah, I
I'm
really.
very proud of you, because you joined April 2020 and the book came out a couple of months ago, a month or so ago,
So
which
yeah,
is, it's still a reasonable time frame for someone who was doing it on their own. I mean, our retreat authors will take 4 to 6 months, and that's fairly fast. So for you,
mm,
congratulations. Was there a
thanks.
specific amount of hours that you set aside each week, or how was your timetable around writing the book? I'm
So
always curious, because I give recommendations, but I always
okay.
am curious what people actually do.
Okay. So basically, I have four roles. So I've got my day job, which is my
Yeah,
org consultant role, and then I've got the WildFit coaching that I do in the
yeah,
evenings, Mondays and
yeah.
Fridays. So the book was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of activity.
Project. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like the weekend work, I put in the first weekend. I finished like the initial draft, but then the edits were like ongoing. So whenever
Mm.
yeah, I couldn't I don't think it was like weekly
Okay.
commitment. It was basically, I knew I set a date in May that I would look at this and then I would redo the second edit. Then I said, in a couple of
Got it.
weeks, I would do the third edit and then and took it from there.
All like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 And
When
I
things are
tried to,
required.
yes, absolutely. Because for me, I couldn't commit like hourly every week because I've got the multiple roles that I do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to get it done in 2020, but it took a little longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're here now. So I'm,
Oh, you hear
but
that?
I'm just calling it my COVID lockdown project.
Yeah, and and I mean you're in Sydney, so you've been locked up quite a while now.
Pretty much.
Do you tap into some of all of these things that you talk about in your book to stay energized and upbeat and all that sort of stuff?
Absolutely. I live this. This is my mindset. This is how I've got through most of the challenges in my life. And I haven't spoken about some of the other challenges that happened initially. It's all in the book, but it's I've got the experience, and now I want to share with people that if they did follow these steps, it would actually work. I mean, they're all everyone. I'm targeting like everyone here is geniuses. Everyone like smart women, right? So it's for them,
Yeah.
really, because all of us need help. I needed help and I got help. And now I
And
want
even
to.
for writing a book, you found someone who had a model or a framework and had the
Absolutely.
results you wanted. So
Absolutely.
therefore you invested to learn from them because
Absolutely.
you hadn't done it before. For your health, you found the WildFit community.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, that's a big, it's really important. I think investing in yourself in whatever way you can,
Yep.
and then listening and following through, I think, it really gives you the result. Try and do it all by yourself. It's,
Hard.
it's not, I mean, that's why I pay a personal trainer a couple of times a week,
Me too.
because I won't push myself the way
Yes.
she would push me. There's no way.
Absolutely.
I'm more like, I do 2 other workouts by myself, but there's a big difference between the intensity
I go a little easy on myself. Yeah, I agree.
yeah. So I think, if you're looking for a transformation, if you're stuck, especially in your health, check out what Kav's got on offer because, I know she's very disciplined. If she's done a book on her own following my online portal, I bet you she'll be a very disciplined coach to, have expectations that, won't let you, buy into your own story and excuses, right?
Absolutely.
I
No
love it.
reasons.
So you have your own website. So some of these guys who are listening may want to get a physical copy of your book. So let me just share one more time the look of your cover. So here it is, Unleash Your Inner Phoenix. So what is your actual website where they can go get it? Like you can sign it for them.
Sure, it's unleashyourinnerphoenix.com. So it's all one word.
Okay.
Unleashyourinnerphoenix.com. And yeah, I've got my early supporters are getting like a thank you present and my hand signed book as well. So I would love that. That would make me very happy.
Amazing, yeah. And of course, if you like reading on your Kindle, then the launch date is today and it's at 99 cents. And you can see there a really easy to remember tinyurl.com /Kav launch day. And I'm sure Lindy has already posted it. I love the cover, I love the Phoenix. And yeah, when you showed up today with that top logo, you must have had it custom made for the
I actually saw it on Sass and Bud and I'm like, that has got my name all over it.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Well, I wish you every success with it. I look forward to continuing to see you thrive with everything that you're doing, and
Thanks,
maybe you, soon. Is the intention to transition from your day job to do this stuff full time?
Eventually, absolutely, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not there yet, but
Yeah.
definitely working on a plan to get there.
Well, I mean, it took me a good couple of years. I mean, I stayed in my role, while I was a weight loss coach. My first book came out. Actually, at the time, I needed to go on maternity leave for the second baby. And
Right.
that was the only reason why I stopped working because I was having a baby, not so much that, I could do it. But yeah, the book was a big catalyst for a lot of things to start. So be ready and to say yes to lots of opportunities.
Thank you.
Because people do perceive you differently when you're an author, and and then you're going to just have to manage your time even better
I
until
will. I manage my energy, Nat. I don't. Time management is important,
energy.
but energy. When you have the energy to do things, you can just do multiple projects. That's how I've done it, really.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think energy is one of the things that we all need to learn how to tap into, especially as we get older, because different things sap our energy and different things, of course, ignite and give us more. Or, where are those reserves, and finding what that's for you is very much hidden in our health and our well-being and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kav. I really appreciate your time, guys. Go and support her. Get the book. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous book. And cover. So I can't wait to report back how everything is going. Maybe we can catch up for an interview in 6 to 12 months time again and see what your life looks like.
Absolutely. I hope to have my digital product ready by then around Phoenix coaching. So I can't wait.
Oh, okay. Well, let's sign out with my smash it out. All right, guys, 1, 2, 3, smash it out.
Smash it out.
Bye,
Thanks, Kav.
guys. See ya.
Bye.